So I'd like to welcome Matt, one of our osteopaths, to the first Behind the Mask. So Matt, if you'd like to remove your mask.
Hello.
That's what you look
Hello,
like.
Mark. Yes, in a separate room.
Brilliant. So just going to ask a few questions so that people can get to know you a little bit better. So what did you do before you became an osteopath?
Well, before that, I worked in travel for about 20 years, mainly marketing, but doing a lot of traveling as well. But it was a mainly desk-based role and lots of commuting and long hours and high amounts of stress. So I needed a change.
And what would you say kind of made you become an osteopath? Why train as an osteopath as opposed to something else?
Well, like I said, I needed a change. Wanted to do something different. It took me a long time to try and find out what I wanted to do. But then in that process, I saw an osteopath for a shoulder problem and I'd never seen one before. Didn't quite know what it was, but a friend had recommended it, and it made a massive difference. And that triggered an interest in doing something more healthcare, which I'd never considered. And from then, I investigated what I needed to do and started retraining. That was a 2-year process rather than me deciding the day after I saw the osteopath.
And can you describe to people what happens in your first osteopathy appointment?
Well, probably the difference when you see an osteopath versus, not all, but some other therapists, is we actually spend a lot of time talking with you. So we're very keen to understand the cause of what might be your problem. So we'll spend a good 20-30 minutes finding out what's brought you to see us, but also what other things in your lifestyle may be impacting it, other injuries you've had, impacts of exercise, your work pattern. So that's a lot of talking to start with, but then we do a very detailed examination looking at how you move, how you respond to our touch, doing certain things. And from there, we then explain what we think is going on. So it's about kind of joining the dots to see what may be happening in your hip that may be impacting what's happening in your shoulder. Explain that to you, because that's, I think, what most people find so valuable, is understanding a bit of what may have caused what's happening. And then similar to other people, we'll do some manual therapy to help that condition, but most importantly, set some goals with you and help you look at what exercise or movements you can do to help as well.
Brilliant, brilliant. Is there anything particularly about your work that you would say you really love?
I think it's, I've enjoyed being with people, and this job has helped me meet so many fascinating people I wouldn't otherwise met. So it's not just a social thing, but no day is ever the same. Everybody comes in with even though they may have back pain, there's a different story behind that, and working with those people to sort of break that down and come up with a treatment plan is what I love. It's kind of the investigation and problem solving element, but the main thing is that helping people feel better and live their life better with less pain.
And what are the most common conditions that your patients present with?
In sort of percentage terms, probably low back problems are about half of what we see. But like I say, no low back problem is ever the same. But then everything from sort of ankles to jaws and everything in between. Certainly in the moment, I'm seeing a lot of people more with upper back and shoulder problems from more time working at home, and most people have gone through a massive change in this pandemic period. So I'm seeing either people who exercised a lot and are now doing none, or vice versa. So everybody's gone through a massive change, and that's had the body responds to change, sometimes well, sometimes not. So it's a very, that other 50% is very much a mixed bag, but that's why I love it. Nothing is the same.
And would you say that you have any sort of particular speciality or area of interest?
I would say probably what I get most satisfaction, enjoyment from is working with people who've had a more long-term problem. So yes, I love people with more sort of a running injury or sports injuries, as I'm a sort of a runner as well. But those people who've had something for a long time time and just working with them, again, to maybe not always totally get rid of an issue, but work with them to see how they can help manage it, reduce the pain levels, get back to doing the things they love. So it's those people who've had a problem which has impacted how they live that I work best with.
And anything you would like to say to people that are thinking about booking in with you?
I would say probably the main thing is I'm a manual therapist, so I use my hands to work with you. But most importantly, I try to be as collaborative as possible. To, like I said earlier, to help you understand what's going on, understand what you can also do to help. So it's not about giving out homework, but talking to you about exercises or changing your movements, changing how you sit at your desk, how you carry things. All of that kind of thing is probably how I really like to work. It's not me providing something, it's working together with you. So we're achieving what we set out to together.
Brilliant. Okay, well, thanks for your time, Matt.
Pleasure. I'll put my mask back on.